All right, guys and gals, and let's see. Oh, Super Eye's made it in here. Good to have you, Super Eye. Glad to see you joined in.
What's up?
Not a whole lot. Just getting ready to get started. We started the recording session, and so um, yeah, glad to have you guys all here. It's definitely as Sammy was saying just a little bit ago. It's really nice to be back in the swing of things in the community. Definitely being here in the voice chat because it's always been really nice connecting with everybody and uh, just having routine voice chats. Like I personally have missed them because the community gives me energy. You guys, I feed off you guys for sure, and you know the positive vibes has always been contagious. That's something that Leon has said himself before, and to the moon. So just to give a short recap as to kind of why there's been some silence. There's been a lot going on. This space has a way of consuming you on a day-to-day basis, and for us as individuals, it's our mental health is important. And when Gallant was started almost a year ago now, guys, we're getting close to approaching our 1 year anniversary, so we're really excited about that. But it really does have a way of consuming you, and you tend to, if you don't have a solid, personal life and work life balance, it'll take over. And it was really beginning to take a toll, uh, being being like so consumed into it on a day to day basis. And so we did take a few weeks off, and you guys in the community, we really commend you all that was present and continued to stay here. And we'd pop in from time to time. So appreciate the moderator team and every individual that's in this call that's been here. And if you're listening to this call and you've been present, we appreciate you, and we really do thank you for continuing to support and believe in what we're doing. And but we're back. We've got a lot of things going on. That we've got that balance established in personal life and the work life. So back in business, guys. So we'll go ahead and start. I think the very first topic of discussion should be um, what happened, right? You know, just covered from a compromise that happened on Saturday. I actually thought it was an April Fool's joke. So I'll say this, guys, and everyone that's listening. If you have on your PC a document or a file that has any recovery phrases or seed phrases stored on it, get it off. Get it off. Write those things down and store them in a safe place. If you want to make a copy of it, store it in two places in case one place gets compromised. Um, I don't want to say too much in regards to uh, the situation and the total details, simply for security purposes and to allow us to maintain um, a clear path. We do have authorities have been notified. I've got a cybercrime police report established here with my local police. Binance is actively working with me, and Certic is in the process of seeing how they can support in some way. Also contacted a third party vendor regarding recovery of assets. They have a pretty good track record, um, and we're going to exhaust every resource that we can to get those funds back. So what was it? It was a matter of someone had taken my document and basically took the marketing tokens, the airdrop tokens, the tokens that was in the contract. I had a MetaMask wallet account that had 8 individual wallets in it, and that person basically put in my phrases and transferred out all the tokens and then sold them off. So we lost a good bit of tokens. We still have over 20 trillion now to use, and we're going to use those to the best of our abilities. Um, I really hate that it happened. It was probably one of the hardest days of my life as an individual human being. Um, seeing everything that I had helped build and establish. here with Gallant, as well as in my own personal assets. You know, it was very disheartening. I was very sad. You know, I was mad, angry, um, you know, in disbelief at first. I couldn't believe it would ever happen. I thought it was just something that, you know, you hear about. Um, but, you know, we've taken measures to move those things out. The tokens are now in new wallets. Um, it definitely could have been a lot worse because said person, um, I guess he didn't care to take that initiative. Um, but he definitely could have done a lot worse. And so we're thankful that it wasn't any worse than what it was, even though it was bad. But we definitely have taken action to move those assets out. And JB and myself are actively monitoring the activity of the wallet that took the assets and funds. Um, before I move on to another topic, does anyone? Because this isn't like for me or myself or Sammy or JB to kind of like just run the show or whatever. You know, I want to have some dialogue with you guys. Does anyone have any questions about that or have any you know input on that before we go on to another topic? I just wanted to make sure that we addressed that first.
Oh, do you also want to talk about the monies regarding the NFTs?
Well, yeah, that was a part of it. The the funds that we had obtained from the NFT sales was a part of what he had taken. And like I said, I'm not going to go into accusations or whatnot, but I think it's pretty clear if someone can put two and two together, there was a person that was a part of the development of that. And I'm not going to say much more on that. I'll leave it there.
And so, just to kind of piggyback on that and let you know about how we're going to move forward, we are planning a new launch for the NFTs, and we're still working out the details of that. Stephen, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but it's something exciting. It's something that we probably should have done in the beginning. And so when we get more information and, figure out a plan, we'll present that to you.
Yeah, for sure. And everyone who holds a NFT at this point, you're going to receive you're going to receive that back just on the ETH chain. So don't worry about losing anything or anything like that. You're going to be taken care of. We're going to make sure that we take care of you guys like we always have. So
Thank you.
we'll go on over to the gaming stuff. I know you guys are probably excited to hear about what's going on there because we are as well. Um, I've got some stuff I'm going to share on my screen and kind of recap and show. Um, so let's start at the top. Okay. What do we have in terms of gaming, right? We've got Gallant Warriors, our very first game that was developed. And we enjoyed that, right? It was nice to see our little characters. We really loved them. They're really neat looking. Um, unfortunately, the developer that we had brought in to take care of that game did not fulfill our request fully. And we were anticipating a nice little update to come out for Gallant, Gallant Warriors. And when I received that update, uh, I was very upset. And so we basically parted ways. And it was a very good decision because their heart was not in Gallant or in terms of the games that the game that they were developing for us. And so we made the decision to part ways, and it's it's been good because who we've brought in with you see someone in here, Zach the Great. You guys maybe have seen him communicating a couple days ago in the Discord. We're gonna do a little introduction on him here in just a bit, but we have Zach and we have Mark, Sir Mark of Gallant and Zach the Great. Those are our two in-house game devs, and they both are very passionate about what we're doing, and there's a common interest there. Our morals are the same, and our vision aligns, opposed to what Vivek and his team was doing for us. There was constant setbacks, constant delays, and so as my Unity is loading up here, I'm going to showcase a little bit of what's been going on in the recent month and a half that we've been kind of down on updates for you all. But so to come back to the top of it, we've got Gallant Warriors. It was a fun little game, and it's still out there. People can still play it. It's a proof of concept for us, and we were glad to have something visual, tangible, and playable for our people and for people that don't know about us to get our name out there. And so as we moving forward, we had been talking and posing there with Gallant Arena, and I'm going to show you guys some developments there. This game was created and envisioned by someone that's no longer with the team. And, we really appreciated Jake and everything that he contributed there. And Gallant Arena is not going to be done. We're going to do Gallant Arena. And what I'm going to show you is some of the development stuff that's taken place from time that we kicked it off a month and a half ago with Zach and Mark in terms of the world design and some of the features and interactions. You guys will be able to see it evolve from where it started. So I'm going to show you first here as, tell you what, I'll show you guys this first while Unity is loading up. So I'm going to go ahead and begin sharing my screen. All right, so one of the things that we've been working on from the beginning is multiplayer, right? Everybody we like to play together, and that's one of the things that games allows us to do is to connect not only in our community here, but playing with other people, and that's really what games are about, when it comes to multiplayer fashion. So I'm going to showcase this very first video here. Um, this was the very beginning. What you're seeing here, this is our arena, okay? And Zach is really good at taking a concept, an idea, and transforming it. But one of the very first things that Zach shared with me when we first met is that he brings cubes to life. And I really like that statement, and he's good at it. So this is one of the very first pieces that he compiled to show us progress. And what you're seeing here is the Gallant Arena, and it's got a pit here. But what you're seeing here is the blue cube is a player, and these are 3 enemies. Okay, and you're seeing the player move around, and you're seeing, the enemy spawner, the enemy movement, things of that nature. So that was him working on the pathways in the map, and the attack mode, uh, the enemies being defeated, and so that was one of the very first things that he did for us in terms of showing us. I don't want to jump ahead. Oh, whack, 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 whack. Okay, and then we had the character. So we went from cubes to character movement. Okay, so we still have our cubes, and before there was no grate there. And what you're seeing in this scene is before we made it a little bigger. The arena became enlarged, and the some of the pillars that were in there were removed to allow more player movement, a little bit more freedom to attack and allow the enemies to move around and stuff. And so now what we're seeing is the movement of the character over the grate. The grate was then baked in, and yeah, that was another evolution. So now you see an actual player in the game, and so we're really excited. We were really excited to see that next phase. And then we have um, enemies moving. So we went from red cubes to actual enemies, Now the enemies can track and follow the player around so that they're constantly coming at you. Another stage of development. And this little spinning cube over here, that's a part of a booby trap that will be added into the game. And jumping ahead. So then we had enemies spawning, right? So now the enemies were able to spawn and begin coming towards the player. Now he's going to get to see a little bit of an attack there. Sprites and blood and all those things is stuff that comes after the fact. It's all about the physics, the logic in the very early stage. So it was nice to see the cubes transform into actual players. And so this is more of some player updates. He was working on the body movement, the animations, and as you can see, the legs move a lot better from where they did before. He's got a nice idle movement with the sword in his hand. Pretty dope looking knight there. We're really excited about that. But that was another update that he was able to deploy and work through with us. And then this is some of the attacks that that was entered in for the knight. So you have the leg movement. There's your spinning attack. You jump. Those animations was added to the player controller. Okay. And then we're going to move on over into one of the cool one is there was a health and enemy. So health and energy. So you'll see that the player has health. And you have the enemies spawning in from the gates. There's also some sound effects for the slicing. You see the enemies now have an animation of dying down. And you'll see that the health is regenerative as long as you're not being hit. And of course it uses energy as you attack, so you have to allow that to rebuild. A lot of great things have transpired for Gallant Arena. So we're really pleased with the development of it. And you know, it's really come a long way from being just an idea to actually seeing it in person and actual movement. So there's that. Now, I'm going to shut my screen for just a moment, and I'm going to get Unity up over here because I know King's Calling has been one of our babies as well for some time. And Mark has done a great job at working on the world, and we've got some things we're going to revisit. But I definitely wanted to showcase some of what he has done most recently in the last month in terms of the world design. While this is loading up, go. Such a big map. So second, but while it's loading here, I'll go ahead and transition over into the topic of it and the reason why I'm going to say this. We are a small team, and we've been a bit ambitious, okay? And because we're a small team, for us to deliver, you know, a game of this magnitude, it requires a lot more than what we have in our internal resources. You know, we only have two. We only have two guys. And so we've decided, the team has met multiple times and discussed, and there's a couple of you that I've talked to outside, you know, when I've talked to you guys on the phone and kind of, you know, let you guys know what we were doing. So this is the first like public announcement about it, but we decided to take and shift our focus to one single game. And it's a game that's not going to, you know, restrict people that may not have beefy computers, you know, or require so much internal resources to get what we want done. And I'll shift over to that here in just a few moments. But in the meantime here, let me get the scene loaded up. This. And for the video purposes, I'll get a compilation video put together for sharing in the Discord. I'll compile those videos that I shared with you all. For those that may be listening to this as it's a recording, you'll be able to see what I was sharing uh, in the Discord. I'll get a filed video of it. So let me get Discord back open, share my screen.
As Stephen was saying, we are an ambitious group and we still have every intention of following through on the things that we've said we're going to do. We've just, evaluated where we're at as far as resources and, switch gears a little bit. We'll be updating our roadmap soon with new timelines and stuff as we figure out those things. But yeah, just wanted to reiterate that we're still going to do the things that we set out to do, but we want to get something out to you guys as soon as possible. So that's why we've switched gears a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed very conducive to utilize the two core resources that we have for development. Zach is a programmer, and Mark is our world design. He's our level creator, and so allowing these two guys to work in unison together on one single project, it allows us to move the bar a lot quicker, opposed to doing a little bit over here, doing a little bit over here, and doing a little bit over here. It begins to stretch ourselves thin, and it delays the deliverable. And so what you guys are seeing right now is I'm coming in. The last time that we were in King's Calling in terms of this world design, we were looking at the Vikings village. That was one of the last updates for you guys. So I mean the medieval village within this little mountainous region here. And so we're gonna get zoomed in, and I will show you guys what Mark completed for the medieval village. He got some more aesthetics put in, some cosmetics for the grass, and some more pathways. So we're gonna get here just as soon as it, and I'll go a little slow so that it buffers for any of you guys that may be on mobile devices, so that you're able to kind of capture that. Okay. So there's some things that needs to be updated, right? Our towers are leaning a little bit, but this is to kind of showcase some further development that took place. We have a pretty nice little rocky path. There's some gates here. Let me turn my speed down just a bit. This thing is killing me. There we go. Let's turn the camera speed down a bit. Okay. Gotta love those loading bars, right? Which is so much fun. Said no one ever. Okay, now we can move around again. So we're back into the little homes, and as you can see, there's little fences around. Basically, the medieval village was expanded. So before, it would come in and go this way towards the right. So there's now more fences around. There's more grass around. I'll show you just like from an aerial view. Before it had stopped over here and went down to the windmill there. So as you can see, it was expanded away some more. So now there's a guard tower over here, a guard tower over here in case, some people want to try and enemies come in. Gives more exploration areas and more areas for NPCs. One of the other things that you'll notice right off is we now have some snow caps. We have a mountainous snow region back here. And so that's for the two different coordinate planes on the map. But I want to show you the Vikings village that was added to the map. Get over there here in just a moment. I went below the word to the under.
That's
Okay.
how I felt this morning when I woke up.
All right, so now you're gonna begin to see a new body of water. We're gonna, as time progresses, you guys will see this this map continue to evolve into that beautiful vision that we've got for King's Calling. And my computer is lagging. Betsy. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Everybody's having a good week.
So
Yeah,
far, so
buddy.
good there, Steve. Good to hear from you.
JT, what's up, dude? How you been?
Doing good, man. Working hard. Hustle. Oh, dropping glasses.
Yeah, don't
Just
drop
dropped my
glasses.
My vision changed. So I have distance vision where I need help with. But up close is fine. But once you magnify distance, what happens is when you're looking up close, everything's magnified there too. So it screws up your vision. So I'm always now popping my glasses on the top of my head and either losing them because I can still see. I'm not blind. I'll put them down and then I lose my glasses. Crazy old man.
I hate to laugh at you, man, but you're making it funny.
It is really funny because I went to the while you're loading, I'll just tell you a quick funny. I went to the guy to get new glasses, and I'm telling him I see them on TV. They pop them on and pop them off, and he's like, "Yeah, those are 99-cent readers. They don't really make nice glasses that do that." And I'm saying, "Why not? I mean, that's a great idea. Just like a little click. Okay, now I can see up close, and click, I can see far."
You got your next idea, buddy.
Yeah, right. I should have never said it on this. Maybe I should get it patented. Although there would be a patent already. I'm going to shut up because I'm mumbling.
Oh no, you're
Yeah,
fine.
this looks good.
love
It's great to get an update.
I love hearing from you guys, man. I like it when other people talk and it's not just me.
Well, I don't know if I joined a little late. Where are you shifting your focus on which of the, or where? Yeah, open question. Where are you shifting some of your focus?
That's gonna be answered here in just a few moments.
Okay,
I'm just gonna showcase here the latest update to King's Calling. Of course, what you maybe have missed was that now we have snowy. We have a snowy asset pack that allows you to
yeah, it looks good.
incorporate snow and stuff. And so this is where the Vikings will reside, and this is a little bit of their community. We'll just kind of just do like some little walkthroughs. Mark's done a great job, with the aesthetics as always, the little fenced in homes, and these things are automatically identified as Vikings. They're traditional little dragon heads, I guess you could call them. We've got a little boat making area where, the Vikings make their little ships and stuff. There's a storage area there for their, the Vikings love their wine and alcohol. There's a little launch section down here for their ships, stuff like that. There's, nice little room for improvement here as we grow up King's Calling to be that badass RPG that we all want. Got some little defense watchers over here, and yeah, it's really evolved, and just wanted to showcase some of what's been developed and what's been worked on by Mark. And so at this point, I'll stop sharing my screen on this one.
You can't rush those type of games. The attention to detail, you can notice, when you're playing different games out there, who really paid attention to detail and who did it. And it takes a while to do that, as well as to have the good mind to see where the wind is going to go and how that leaf, I mean, you're telling it what to do. It's not like you're planting a leaf and going, here's some wind. You got to code it and tell it. So kudos to those guys. And yeah, pretty cool. Looks good.
I think that mountain looks fresh. I don't know. I immediately envisioned a mission to the top of the mountain, killing bad guys. Looks like a pretty dope mountain.
Yeah, me and Obi-Wan be snowboarding down it, swinging our swords.
I am looking forward to seeing that video.
My audio cut out. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you now. We didn't hear
Hear you now.
anything else.
Okay. Yeah. Let me do a force close on this. That
Burn, baby, burn.
that's some of the other things that's going to be done on King's Calling is reducing the scene size so that the computer's not trying to render everything that's within view. We're going to be breaking it up into scenes. Mark and Zach are really good, so looking forward to some of the time that we can spend on getting it broken down in the future. So let me get this force down, and at this time I'm going to hold on. There it goes. Task manager. Let's go. Gotta love the Control-Alt-Delete. Come on. Just bear with me just a minute.
Fury, I like your name where you put the Viking.
Yeah, as a Scandinavian guy, that kind of fits me.
You still look like a Viking, or did you shave?
Of course I do. We haven't still been on the Time magazine.
Have you been in contact with Ghosh at all?
Not in a couple of months.
He shaved completely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I didn't recognize him. I got a call from him. I'm like, who's this? On Telegram, I get a call from him. I'm like, who's this? He's like, it's me, brother. I'm like, I look like you. He's like, yeah, I had to shave. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he had a massive beard. So this map is ending. It's shutting down. It's just taking a second. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna do a short little intro here, and so for those of you guys that don't know or haven't been in the chat or may not have picked up, as you guys was hearing me talk about it a little bit ago, we did bring a developer in-house named Zach the Great. And so who is Zach? Zach's a Unity developer, and one of the things that kind of makes him fit with us in a way is that, you know, he loves gaming, you know, and one of his first words was mouse click. I thought that was pretty cool. Fun little fact about him. And you know, his dad is involved with gaming development, so it's in his family. So it was really nice. Zach really enjoys playing MMOs and FPS style games. He's got his associate's degree in computer science, and he just really enjoys working in Unity and learning things. You know, since he's been on board here with us, what we've you know our ambitions and what we have planned to achieve has allowed him to grow as a Unity developer. And so outside of Unity development, he loves making music and audio engineering, sound design, and video editing for some of his fun stuff. He likes to grill. He likes cooking. He likes spending time going to the range. I know there's a few of us in here that would enjoy that, and it would be cool to have like a group outing one day, and all go to the range and just have fun.
Woo, woo.
He likes driving simulators. That's where him and I connect. I really love shooting and driving simulators, but he also loves VR. Um, and Zach has a little video that he'd like to share with you guys to kind of showcase a little bit about what he enjoys doing and what he's been doing on the side, testing out and learning. Because here's the thing, guys, we've got multiplayer now. We have multiplayer. It's been testing. There's still more testing needs to go into it. And as we move on over into this announcement about our primary focus for the gaming development, you guys will get to see that. But Zach, without further ado, if you want to share your screen, you're more than welcome to let everyone kind of see what you've got in regards to your skill set, and feel free.
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, I'm Zach. Kind of got the Cliff Notes version of, who I am and what I do, right? I'm essentially a music producer, audio engineer who decided that wasn't exactly the most stable field. And my father was always programming, whether it's web development for companies like Google or game development for companies like Sony and EA. So I've gotten to kind of get an inside look at how AAA studios work, because obviously I get to go hang out and, test games that weren't even out. And I was playing the PS3 before it was out. So, um, I've kind of been around the field literally my entire life. Um, and I finally decided I'll take it seriously, really sat and figured out programming and whatnot. That was probably about, that started about 3 years ago or so. Um, where I'm at now, since I've joined Gallant, the reason why we don't really quite have a giant playable game out yet is tiny bit of misunderstanding. I was more of a single player dev, so I was kind of tasked with learning multiplayer. So in a video that I'm going to show, it kind of showcases some of the little side projects that I've been working on right now, just kind of tinkering and learning while we're kind of nailing down exactly what we want to do as Gallant. Um, Let me go ahead and get that shared real quick. It's also on YouTube, if people would rather have a YouTube link. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I'll just let it play, and then I guess we can go ahead and, I'll answer some questions that I'm sure, people are wanting to get to know me better. So I'll mute myself and I'll go ahead and just let this play. So some main things I immediately want to point out. I'm sure there might be a teeny tiny bit of confusion. What does an FPS have to do with anything Gallant development related? Well, whenever I originally spoke with the team and I learned that they wanted multiplayer games, that was kind of like a oh for me because that's not really something that I've done before. So using a framework called Mirror Networking, which is open source, one of the very first multiplayer experiences that I started working on, just because I figured it's a good like testing ground to start figuring out multiplayer, netcode, and everything else, is just an FPS. No Gallant, as far as I know. We don't plan on releasing any FPSs or anything. But the technology that's running that simple tech demo, essentially, which is what it is, that's going to be what Gallant is going to be using going forward for a lot of our multiplayer experiences, specifically more peer-to-peer style multiplayer gameplay. Um, as far as just like, what's the point of like a visualizer, right, for the music and everything? I just kind of threw that together because, well, I personally, as I had said, I used to be music production, audio engineering. It's just kind of me having fun combining quite literally just code, math, and music to make cool experiences and whatnot. So it just kind of shows a little bit about me. Pretty much all of that was worked on throughout March, mainly. A lot of my personal development time went to kind of wrapping my head around multiplayer game development. You also saw a little teaser in there. Not only is it because if you play games like Minecraft and whatnot, you're familiar with if you want to host a server, you'll have to port forward and all that fun stuff, right? But my end goal here is a peer-to-peer multiplayer experience that does not require dedicated server hosting, port forwarding, because I'll be hosting kind of like a main server browser list so that whenever you actually want to find a match or, play multiplayer with your friends, you'll pretty much be bouncing off of my server to get that connection initiated. So essentially a lot of since I've joined has been going more on what I'd consider foundation groundwork, getting everything in place for us to actually start development on something that actually fits, the Gallant world and theme. So, if anyone has any questions for me, go ahead. If it's something that I can't answer, obviously Steven will step in, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions for him, feel free. It's an open mic session.
Or you can write them in the chat if you can't speak. Thank you, Zach, for that, by the way.
Mhm.
I like that party graphic with the cubes.
Yeah, I just stayed up late one night having some fun with cubes, quite literally.
Yeah, it's really cool to see because I myself I have a passion for music too, and that's something else that I have in conjunction with Mark, and I mean not with Mark but with Zach, and I've always been amazed. I remember when if you guys go back in the early Windows days, the Windows visualizations, right? You could play a song and you'd have the amoeba, you'd have the smoke, you'd have the lines, you'd have the bars. So it was always really cool to see music interact with visuals. And so seeing his cube, his massive cube drop there, reacting to the beats and the hi-hats and things like that. It was really cool. So it goes to show his ability to mix both of his passions together in a visual. So that was really cool. An exclusive that we're going to share with you guys is that for our dedicated community members, people that are engaged with us. But if you hold a Gnarly Knight, okay, we mentioned early on that Gnarly Knight holders would receive exclusive access to stuff, right? So we're going to be creating a channel in the Discord. Zach and I and the team, we're going to be setting up a streaming schedule and exclusive events there for you guys as community members. You guys, and it's not to be recorded. And if we find out anybody's done any recording, we will have to, kind of kick you out, just to be frank.
Time time.
This is exclusive access to watch the development taking place. If you're a how it's made kind of person, you're gonna love it because I enjoy how it's made. But it's an opportunity for you guys to have direct access and see development as it's taking place. And I have yet to see another project do that. They'll give you a little update, they'll drop you a video, but to actually be engaged, be able to communicate with the game developers as they're developing, now granted certain things are, kind of kept quiet based on, releasing, updates to everyone, right? Certain features and things like that, because we don't want everyone that has a Gnarly Knight to kind of know every little thing about the game. So we have to restrict certain things from you guys so that, it's playable and it's fun. So you don't know all the, you don't have like a cheat code guide, so to speak, if that makes sense. But we thought that would be really awesome. And what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about having a secret channel for Gnarly Knight holders, so that when Zach's doing some stuff, he can fire up the stream, and we'll make sure that it's an event. It's notated in the Discord, and you can't get into that channel unless you have a Gnarly Knight. You guys get to see that stuff. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. Just gives it another utility. And I'm like that. I like to see it from that, see how it's made, that TV show they had on cable for a while. I think that's a great idea. That's really cool. I'll be watching because I'm a Gnarly Knight holder.
Yeah, I hear you. I've watched pretty much every episode of How It's Made.
Yeah, I
Awesome,
think it's
awesome.
YouTube.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. I also, for those that may or may not, Mark is our developer as well. Mark, is there anything you'd like to share with the community while we're talking here in terms about you, yourself, and they've got to have a little taste of Anaris, which is a game that you created, and we'll still get some development time as we continue forward. But if you want to take a moment and speak to the community, feel free.
Sure, Steven, thanks you. So my name is Mark. I'm from Romania. I'm 19 years old. I like playing games. I start doing level design when I was 14 years old, I think. I started because I play a lot CSGO in my life, and I was really curious, how can you make a map? How can you make a game? Because for me, when I started, everything was just for fun. I didn't want to create a game or, I don't know, work for someone for a project. I just wanna, like a game, I just wanna create a map for me, for fun. And about the Anaris, that project I started maybe 1 year ago, half of a year, I don't remember. And I started because I really wanna know how can you create some mechanics for a game, like Zach create for the game that we're working on right now, and that I was really curious how the development work and things like that. And maybe in one day we will publish the full game of Daenerys, maybe. I think that's it for me.
Well, we love you, Mark. Keep doing
Love
what
you
you're doing,
too.
buddy.
Love you
You
too,
guys
guys.
are awesome. You guys are really helping us out behind the scenes, and without you guys, really, filling up that coffee a couple of times, I'm sure, in those late hours and that extra work that you're putting in to do this on top of what you normally do in your day. We thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks you too, because you stay with us. If you guys are not, we can do more things for you.
Yeah, for sure. And Ed, thanks a lot for the kind words there. We really do appreciate every ounce of time that Zach and Mark commit to us. And so with that being said, let's Sammy, JB, Mike, what do you think? Should we go ahead and reveal what we're doing now?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I will go back to sharing my screen.
Mark, you forgot to add that you like McDonald's.
Oh, I really, yeah, I do.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken
You
nuggets
could
are
hear
the
the
best.
passion in his voice when he said that. Yes, I really do.
They're so good. I don't know what they put in them, but
Not
they're very good.
Oh man,
Man,
yeah.
those chicken nuggets also one of my favorites.
Me too, yeah. The chicken nuggets.
Oh, I love you guys. Yeah, so that was one of the things that he said in the in the game dev chat before we finished. It's like, there's anything you want to share with the community. He's like, I like McDonald's. Oh man. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys. So before before, am I sharing right this moment? I am
You
sharing
are.
right this moment. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the share. So look, guys and gals, the what do we need to do? Gallant needs to get a game out, right? We've got Gallant Warriors. Yeah, we do. But guess what? We're not happy with that. We weren't happy with the end result. Like, yes, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I played it, but it was too short. Okay. There was quite a few elements that were left out that was requested. And so
We
we've
can
got
do
King's.
more than that.
Yeah, we're better than that. And so having worked with Zach and Mark and doing a lot of collaborating together in discussion, we decided that it was time to channel both of those core resources from him, one being level design and two being physics and programming. You know, these guys are good at what they do, so we need to not keep hopping from one thing to another, but focus all of our energy on one game and take this game, because King's Calling is a very massive undertaking, and Gallant Arena is not so much of a massive undertaking, but then we would still be limited to some of the things that we wanted to do. So in order for us to develop those two games, we need to get something going that's going to drive revenue for us to build up, also show more of a concept of who we are and what we're capable of with a multiplayer platform, as well as an inventory system and things that we've talked about in the past. So I'm proud to tell you guys that each one of you, and I can sit here and name everyone who is in this chat, and it's pretty much all of you, that has invested time into giving feedback. Okay. Myself and Sammy, and we went through the feedback channel. Okay. We also talked with JB and we talked with Mike, and we went through all of that feedback and we compiled what the requests were. What did people want? And so I'm proud to tell you that we are putting a game together now that is going to allow us to incorporate those requests. Okay. We're going to put a clear outline together. We're going to build the roadmap in terms of when we anticipate things to be done. You guys will get to see the development process taking place. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak piece right now that's going to show you what it is. Okay. And I'll tell you this, and Zach can confirm this. At first I was standoffish. I was like, no, all of our stuff has been HD graphics, 1080, like crispy, but in order for us to deliver something in a mobile platform, we had to scale down a little bit. We had to reduce our scope. Okay. And if anyone understands what I'm saying there, it had to happen. It was one of those tough decisions, but it was made for the betterment of the project and to increase development time. And so we have go ahead.
When you share your video, Stephen, I think you should share the one that kind of made us come around to like the asset pack too. So don't just share this, also share the one that Zach did too, because I thought Like, that's what really blew me away and made me see the potential,
Okay.
if that makes sense. I know the color is a little bit different, but no, show both of them. Yeah, definitely. No, do the other one first.
So this is a little bit of, we've been doing some various testing and things of that nature, but so essentially what we've moved over into is a more of a modular low poly style environment that will allow us to incorporate all of what we want to do in terms of having multiplayer, having those previous characters that we had with Gallant Warriors. They were very restrictive in terms of their capabilities, right? Further investigation allowed us to see that they didn't have, and if excuse the terminologies if you're not understanding them, but they didn't have the proper meshes and bone structures for us to put in, say, like a two-handed sword or double weapons, or various attacks and animations and inventory systems that we wanted. But so this is the primary asset pack. This is the demo scene that basically showcases the environment, right? We've got we're still keeping our medieval theme. We'll never change from that. But what you're seeing here is a low poly style. Okay, so think about King's Calling, but in a more of a reduced scale of graphic type. Okay, it'll allow us to render on mobile devices without any issues. People that have PCs that may not be so beefy will still be able to join us and play us and take part in our games. But this is one of the demo scenes that really just showcases the assets themselves. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to,
It's level 1 for that's that one's Mark's.
so this here, and I'm actually going to click the game, right? Because we've been working on it in the background, and so I can actually click play and go into a game style, and you'll see that mirror is already integrated into here. So when we move forward a little bit more, we can, pick and choose some people to jump into some testing with us. But I'm going to do a hosting here, and you can see this is the character. Get out of here. So we're still going to have that side scroller feel. Okay, we're still going to have that side scroller feel. But as you can see, he's animated. He's doing his little idols. But we have the ability to change the head, the shoulders, the legs.
Click the helmet in the scene view. You're fine. Yeah, click the
Yeah,
helmet.
I mean, literally, guys, everything is customizable. We've got male, we got female, we've got so many different things. I mean, there's so many pieces here, and don't worry about his legs being into the ground. That's okay. But literally almost everything about him is changeable, right? We can change and customize every freaking thing about this guy. And so that's one of the primary reasons why we chose to move this. But so I'll just show you just a little bit here. He's got his attack. We've got some little NPCs in the background. You can see some movement here. There's some more stuff that's going to be done here. But I really just wanted to showcase to you guys that we have more being done in the background than we ever have before in terms of one single game and the progression from it. There's going to be various levels and scenes throughout it. Sammy actually compiled a nice little story about this, and so that's one thing that I'm really excited about is getting this. I think we're going to shock a few people. So let me stop the play here, and I'll show you just another scene that kind of implements a little bit of lighting, right? So now we're in a darker scene, right? And so we'll click play, and you'll see some of the elements that we didn't have before. You guys remember with Gallant Warriors, when you'd get close to the wall, what would happen? He would go into he'd get stuck. He's like, I can't move, right? That was one of the most common feedbacks. Players would get stuck flying into the air, right? So this one's a little dark. We got some fire going on in the background. So we've got an area, like you can't get past this area. And you see this, he's not getting stuck, right? So having Zach and, Mark here doing what we need him to do. And of course, don't worry, this little cylinder here, he's an enemy, but if I slice him up, he's dead, right? There's another going to spawn. So now I'm getting, and just know we've got enemies that we're designing, that we're going to be implementing, but also look at this. So just because it's a side scroller left to right, because we wanted to keep that same side scroller feel, we have the ability to still go up in the areas, to find things and look around, but you don't have to worry about getting stuck. Really cool. We're really proud of it. And you can't move forward until the enemies have been defeated. So there's 1, 2. All right, now I can move forward. So there's going to be some quests. There's going to be some storyline here. We're proud of it, and we're going to get the roadmap updated on the website. So I'm going to go ahead and just pause, guys, and get some feedback or input or anything you guys want to say.
I personally think it looks great. I like the colors. I like the feel. I like how much you're able to do and get accomplished, being that you scaled it back. And I think for majority of, at least for people nowadays, they always want something that they can play in their hands and their phones. So I'm personally not a gamer enough where I have games on my computer or I'm playing games like that. But if I do have an opportunity, I do go to that phone. So I think the capabilities that you're able to do with the characters and like you were saying, the double-handed sword, holding a sword or 2 weapons. I mean, I think that's great.
We'll get to incorporate classes. You know what I mean? Just like some of the other games that's out there. Like we'll have the ability to customize your character. And different. I don't want to release too much because Sammy's finalizing the document, and we'll get some updates pushed out. But the primary thing was to show you guys physically what's changed. Me personally, I was taken aback at first because I'm not a huge fan of the low poly style, but it has really grown on me after watching some various efforts from Zach and Mark. It's allowed me to see what we can do and what it would allow the player to do. I mean, the opportunities are endless, and the biggest thing, having inventory system and multiplayer, their co-op and stuff like that, like, it's going to be really fun. And so thanks for the feedback, Ed. Anyone else?
My pleasure.
Dark Ghost, what you think, buddy?
Yeah, I think that looks good. Actually, for mobile, I reckon that's probably better. The low poly is probably even better because most are in that style anyway. Everything, everyone that I know that plays a lot of mobile games, everything they have is in that sort of style. So, yeah, it sort of suits mobile really well.
Absolutely, man, and that's the thing. The user base on the mobile is there's more people that play mobile games than almost as PC, and the amount of people that who we're talking about, people that play Clash of Clans while they're at work or they're using the restroom or they're riding in the car.
Yep.
We could not neglect, at being a game development studio, we would have shot ourselves in the foot to keep, because King's Calling would not have been rendered on a mobile device at all. Gallant Arena, it would have been very tough to play that on a mobile device. And so getting something produced in a short time frame that has a good dopamine loop in it, as well as upgrades and customizations, but will also allow us to drive revenue from ads and in-app purchases and things like that, and having it blockchain based as well, is really going to allow us to kickstart where we were and where we're headed.
Yep, sounds fantastic. Yeah, that's the only other thing I was going to ask. So it will be blockchain based. Will be a blockchain game.
Was that a question? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. Fantastic.
Yeah, and of course the same still applies. There will be asset drops, exclusively for the Gnarly Knight holders, and others will have to purchase. But yeah, we're building out the the storyline and foundation, such as, you know, pickups and NPCs to interact with.
But I also wanted to add that, you know, there would be more than one release, because we don't want to isolate or, you know, people that aren't in crypto, you know. So yeah, there would be a blockchain one and a non one, just so we can attract a wider audience.
So I think simply just from a story perspective, that's probably going to definitely gain some publicity, just because like that hasn't been done before. Like it's a bold idea, and I'm personally a fan of that, because whenever you think about games, it's technically just another medium. Much like, you know, the entertainment industry, you have movies, you have music. You know, a game could be something as mind-numbing as Pac-Man, or, you know, you can have games that have gigantic worlds and stories that actually, you know, convey a point and get emotion across and whatnot. So, you know, I'm not really on the more, you know, like story writing side. You know, I'd much rather be in my code editors, you know, making cool attacks and designing cool AI and whatnot. So I'm quite curious to see, you know, as that progresses, what we could actually, you know, share as little teasers here and there. And, you know, with myself, you know, the team can attest to it. This, you know, chat that they're wanting to open up, that I'm going to be in, you can expect just random video posts from me, just kind of showcasing new things. And um, essentially, I'll get to have a much more open line of communication with you guys. I could, you know, come up with an idea, and, you know, if I post it in that chat and you guys think it sucks, you could straight up tell me, and, you know, maybe even your ideas might end up in the game. Like, that's kind of a cool thing, is opening up that line of communication. You know, since we're such a small team, it's kind of a unique aspect to it. Like, let's see you try to, you know, I always like picking on Blizzard nowadays, just plain because, wow, talk about a company that has gone wrong at this point. Try to get like a direct line with their developers and getting to see their test environments and getting to, you know, like as Steven even just showed, it's kind of bold, showing like I haven't even added like, you know, models for the enemies yet. They're literally red capsules, right? So, you know, getting to see that direct line of development with you guys, you'll actually get to see the game start to take shape pretty quickly. It's just how I tend to work.
Hi guys,
Hey.
Who is that?
it's Dave. How's
Oh,
things?
Mr.
Dave
Mr.
Dong.
Mr. Lawler. What's up, buddy?
I was listening and watching as much as I can. I've been driving for the last 2 hours, so, and I had company, so it's very hard to listen and talk at the same time on this end of it. But everything looks good. Don't forget to have an axeman in there with all these lads with swords. An axe wielder.
Don't
We've-
worry.
We've got him.
Like I said, we've got axes, and I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas here, but maybe the Gnarly Night holders. In our little meeting, I kind of showcased how easy it was to kind of get a new character made design-wise. Perhaps maybe, you know, I could sit down with some Gnarly Night holders who want to design a character, and, you know, you might even see your character in game either as an enemy or an NPC in the background, you know? Lots of cool things. Like, if I were to share my screen right now, I could even showcase how easy it is for me to
Show him.
literally, yeah, here, if you guys want to see.
That's why I popped in. I kind of have to jump out myself because my son is getting confirmed tomorrow, and I have a lot of stuff to do this evening.
Right on. Well,
Mhm.
good luck and hope everything goes well. That's an exciting time.
And good luck to everyone. Sorry to hear about the bad news, Stephen, but none of us are immune to anything.
Look, man, I'm going to be flat out and just say it, guys. I had never been more depressed. And as I talk about it, I kind of get a little emotional. But it's only going to make me stronger, and I will rebuild, and the reconstruction phase is exciting to look forward to. It was very devastating because, you know, seeing, you know, project funds and my personal funds being ripped away, stuff that's been, you know, worked on, and, you know, just seeing your life stuff just ripped from you, it was very devastating. I had never been more depressed in my entire life, but it's you guys as a community. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate every one of you.
Yeah, it's a prize I don't depress you as well.
Nah, you guys give me energy, man. Like, you guys are my food. I've enjoyed building relationships with you as individuals, but also building with you as a community. It's amazing, but I I know God is not going to allow anything to happen to me that I can't recover from and come out stronger.
Yeah,
Amen
but
to
we
that.
all bounce back in our own way. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy,
All
Davey.
Cheers. See you there.
Yeah, Dave.
Bye bye.
As you guys can see, he's customizing this guy real time, and so there's a nice little system for us to be able to allow people to customize in a way for creating their player, so per se.
Zach, when you get a chance, can you put it back to the colors you had originally? I like your colors better. You
As
were
in on the character?
no, on the scene. When you first showed us the scene, it was like a golden brown and like all those tones. It was really nice.
Talk more like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of easy things that we could do. That's the thing, like whenever I'm gonna be doing live streams and stuff, actual development in Unity, open up code editors and stuff, people, be able to chime in. Not only am I very receptive to feedback, like if you have a cool idea, that's kind of like one of the perks, Stephen was trying to figure out, like, how exactly can we involve the community, not just in giving you guys little updates here and there, right? But actually, like, maybe even getting your input. And, as I said, perhaps if there's enough interest, I could sit down and, we could design characters. Because, like, I quickly with them, we mocked up, let me put it by the light just because I made this scene so dark. We just quickly mocked up, like, here's like a character who's more like, leather based, right? Hood on. This is potentially like one of the scammers. There's there's a lot that we could do. As you just kind of saw, I was just sitting there tinkering with like how the main player looked, and that's one of the reasons why I like the assets that we have so much, because yeah, sure, it might not be, the most high def stuff in the world, but in my opinion, I think, low poly games, especially whenever you start getting some post effects magic going on, they can look really good. Um, there are games like Minecraft where it's literally blocks, but it's one of the most successful games in the world, right? So, I mean, look at World of Warcraft, for example. Some people love its style, some people hate its style. So I was hoping that people would, be receptive to this newer style, because as they were also saying, um, my goal is to make a game that is both enjoyable on PC, and if we do mobile ports and whatnot, I still want it to be able to run on mobile as well. So by switching from incredibly high poly gigantic textures and, just kind of reducing that down, it lets me worry less if you have a 3080 Ti in your machine. It definitely opens up the game to more people, because like, think of Cyberpunk, for example. That was kind of a massive failure because if you didn't have a 3080 Ti rocking DLSS, you probably weren't having a good experience on the game. Like, if you followed that game at all, like, they released it on, like, I think Xbox 360, and the whole entire game looked like it was made out of Play-Doh and it was broken. It was a good game. I personally didn't play it. Yeah, see, if you're on a PC that had the proper specs, if you were trying to, play that on, like, I think it was literally released for the Xbox 360, I'm fairly certain Microsoft took it off the game store simply because they were too ambitious with the graphics, and, older tech simply couldn't handle it. So we're trying to strike a balance between, we obviously want the game to look good, we want it to have a theme, but we also want it to run well on as many machines as possible.
Right.
Another example that I like to bring up is like look at Valorant. I'm not a fan of Valorant. I personally think it looks like Counter-Strike 1.6 were, released in what 2020 or whatever. But the fact that they keep the graphics simpler, that game is huge and, people could be running it on older machines. So there's just a lot that we have to consider between, latest greatest tech, but we don't want to eliminate, potential players just because maybe their hardware can't handle it. Um, you'll get to learn more about me, going forward in the future, and you know, you'll actually start to get to see characters taking shape and abilities and enemies and all sorts of things. This is a very early look into the development of Gallant Warriors. I mean, we literally jokingly called it V2, Gallant Warriors V2. We'll have different working titles and whatnot going forward, but my goal is making sure that you guys have an open line of communication with myself. I'm sure Mark will also be able to chime in and whatnot, especially with level design and whatnot. I want to make sure you guys are in the loop with what's going on, because it's very easy to kind of not share updates as often as people would want. Um, so it's up to Stephen about, how much, from that channel gets released to the full public. But, I'm here, I exist. I'm working on this all the time. I'm almost nocturnal at times, though, so you'll see me on it all, times. You can feel free to mention me if you have, like, ideas and whatnot. Maybe we'll have, like, a specific channel for, suggestions for, the game. We can go from there. Just it's kind of up to Steven and what the community really wants when you think about it.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Zach.
Zach. Well,
Pretty cool to see the dynamics of this, because I'm a fan of both style games, the ultra realistic high res games, as well as the fantasy more feel like this. But I noticed, even just growing up throughout the years with having computers, after update, you can only go so far. So then you would tend to look for other games, and you would see these games, more the fantasy style, but still realistic. I mean, the workmanship and the art that went into these things are amazing. So you can't cut that short. Then I started following those games and then trying to play both when you would upgrade your computer. So it's I can see why the shift was, because that takes a little bit more time, and I agree with you guys that going this route and having the utility within the NFT to hang out with you, the developer, and have that little bit of access. Somebody like me that I've been playing games my whole life. I'm 44 years old. I wish I would have learned the Commodore. I didn't. A lot of the young jacks now, they're learning at a very young age how to do these programming, how to convert this and do that, and draw as well as the artists. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm really psyched to see what's next. Just to give you my input, guys.
Yeah, for sure. It
Thanks,
was
JT.
a large amount of this is kind of just like my feedback with, whenever I joined the team. Like the more incredibly, like if you're going for the more photorealistic style, you need to have a whole entire team dedicated to the art. Like once you actually like, I'm still getting into all that myself. I much prefer this style. It's not even like a lazy thing. It's I grew up playing WoW, right? Literally since vanilla. So I've always been a fan of the more stylized graphics. So it's just always what I've been into, but not to get overly technical, but Unity has multiple render pipelines. And, some of the assets they were originally looking at were for the HDRP, which is where literally every single object in the scene needs to have like 8 different layers of it so it knows how it should, reflect light and reflect different parts of the scene and different maps and,
That blows my mind.
yeah, and there's definitely a time and place for that tech, but I mean, as you guys see, it's primarily Mark and I working, two of us, and I'll just be straightforward. I'm much more on the programming side, maybe some game design as well, just because I play games my whole life. But as far as technical art and everything, that's not my forte. So until the team expands, we had to reduce our scope, and I'm happy that we kind of settled on, you know, some assets that we've managed to pick up, and you're not limited by the assets whatsoever. Like, I'm not a level designer at all, and I whipped this up in about maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Just, a simple scene that, I could start development on. Now whenever, we have Mark actually going through and designing, gigantic open fields and all the rest of it, I'm quite excited to see what he does with it. And just, the development going forward, because like, as you guys saw a little bit in whenever Steven was streaming the demo scene, you have everything ranging from what I have here, more of like an outdoorsy scene, all the way to you can make gigantic castles and whatnot. So, as development goes on, you know, we'll get to show you guys, different environments, kind of like how they were doing with King's Calling. But also at the same time, I'm looking forward to showcasing, further character development, enemies, and everything about the game. So I'm happy to have that line of communication opened, and I'm looking forward to being able to just kind of get to know the community better, because I've just kind of been a quiet face who's chimed in like twice in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really excited, and we've got a lot of opportunities here, and it's nice to have something concrete moving forward instead of kind of being in the air. So it's definitely really nice. And just to kind of maybe just show a little bit of some post-processing, it's the scene, it's the level 1 with the number 1. If you'll open up level 1 and click play and then just go to the scene itself. Yeah, the one above it. Yeah, the one with just level number 1. Yeah, there you go. This is something that Mark put together to kind of showcase a little bit about how post-processing can work in the background. So like, when we're going through a level on the side scroll side, there's post-processing running in the background where, one of the scenes, one of the levels is, there's an attack on, a village is under attack per se.
Oh, okay, that was the demo scene, that's why. Let me see here. Does he have a post-processing layer on here?
Yeah,
He does
it's
have a
running on mine.
post-processing volume. Let me just double check to make sure. We do have color grading. Yeah, okay, so there we go. So we can actually tweak it in real time.
So we'll do your play. And come back towards the front of the very first gate to get in, and that'll give some of the elements of the attack once you play.
Oh, was this the one where
Yeah.
all the animations are in? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let
So
me
this
actually switch to play mode then.
this showcases like the castle's under attack, right? And so, when we're in that element of side scrolling and fighting, that's just kind of showing you guys a little bit about, what some of the options are and what we can look forward to seeing. I think that about sums it up, everybody. Uh-oh, Corel Quack Quack. Good to see you, man. So yeah, it's kind of like open mic time now. Getting
More blood in this map and it will be nice. And more dead bodies.
blood and dead body.
Yeah, I want to create a map with a battlefield.
I think that would be cool. Steven, we haven't said anything about the burn.
Oh, so also as a recap, you guys maybe have seen on the Twitter, the burn tax is now turned on, and it's actively running. And so in addition to that, in the next few days, as we move forward, we're going to be doing an announcement about a burn. We're gonna burn some tokens and send them to the dev wallet and decrease that supply amount. We're really excited about that, and JB, do you want to share anything about why we're going to do burn? JB messaged me when we were messaging a couple weeks ago. He was excited about it. He's like, "Let's burn them all." No, I'm just kidding. But he was definitely happy.
I like that character. That looks cool.
There's that axe.
Yeah, I had to find my voice chat. I'm sitting here watching the stream and thing, and it wouldn't pop up. The whole purpose of burning tokens is to remove some from supply, and they do hold liquidity, meaning they hold more stable project floor, and depending on what's going on, I mean, as everybody knows of some removal of assets, they sold off
9 trillion.
10.5 trillion or something, like that went through, and then they got taxed on it, and these scammers took, about 50%. I'm sure everybody's seen about 50% value of your wallet drop. As Steven announced, like the burn tax is turned on. We're looking to burn some tokens. We're looking to do some giveaways with tokens we had. We thankfully had enough locked up in other assets, in other areas, we've come to the realization our marketing wallet needs no tokens. We've always held like 5 trillion tokens in it. But us as a team, we would never sell tokens out of the marketing wallet to make marketing money. That was the whole intention of them being there. But we could never put a dip in the chart. We've had people sit there and like, oh, you guys are selling tokens, you're selling tokens. No, that is the way the contract functions on its own. We have done way more buybacks than we've ever, well, it's real easy to say. We've done way more buybacks than probably most tokens out there of value that came in. So it is set for a 2% burn right now. Everybody's always had to use 15% because it's something in the contract that was hardwired, like hard-coded saying it was 15, but you really only got taxed 13. Now it is a true 15% tax, and 2% of them are going to the dead wallet every time. We kept the reflections. When we started this contract, it was 2% reflections. We kept the reflections at 3% to the holders, which again is actually more because we had so many tokens locked up in wallets that never received reward. So you actually get 4.5, or what was I figured the other day, 5.2. And we're looking forward to it, letting it hopefully build up. We still have yet to, lock the LP. And I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Our LP has been unlocked since 90 days after we launched the contract, isn't it?
Yeah.
We could have at any time unlocked it. It remained in a lock. All we had to do is go open it up, open that lock. And we let it stay there. It wasn't hurting anything. Nobody, as you can tell, nobody has a vindictive or own in the team, or else trust me, it would have been rugged or robbed way beforehand. This person that did this I'm hoping they were just sort of uneducated, because they really could have got our whole LP. They could have transferred ownership of the contract. They could have done a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we're still looking at avenues for LP lockers. I myself, I care less. I see a lot of projects out there, but new people coming in, if anybody uses Poo, it shows Poo charts. It shows right off the bat, unlocked LP, big red. So a lot of people throw that as a big red flag. They don't even bother to look that, it's been there forever.
And
But
SafeMoon says the same thing. You know, it doesn't stop people from investing over there.
right, because they're sort of doing their own exchange, which is not a bad thing. Trust me, I wish we could do our own LP, but that's sort of counteractive of what Surtech would want out of us. We're getting ready to do like multi-sigs, meaning no one person has control of anything. You'll have to get a couple people together, so that way. And this goes back to what Steven started opening up with. If you have passwords or anything anywhere, it's a simple fact of if you just get, like, I do a lot of my trading on my phone. I know my password has to be stored in there somewhere. It's all face recognition and password. You know, I got it like set up for both, but it's sort of a scary thing. You have a long-term hold wallet. I really recommend getting some sort of two-way or a multi-sig for yourself. It can be as simple as you set something up, you know, on your wife's phone, somebody else's, another device is what I recommend. Some other device other than the one you're on. So if one does get compromised, and it would make it a pain for doing shitcoin roulette is how I call it, like day trading for something that you're always accessing. But if like long-term holds something, and that's another thing. We can always help if somebody is wanting to move wallets so you don't get taxed. It's something I wish we could have in our contract where it had 0 transfer fees. So if somebody is setting up a wallet of some sort and you guys need help with that, I'm sure we can, you know, set it up for you to untax you or something if you're worried about being compromised.
Yeah, just let us know.
And Master Rigger shared a link with me earlier today. There's a air-gapped cold wallet out there. It's called Elipow. I've taken a look at it, and it supports our token. And if you want to know what an air-gapped cold wallet is, it's basically a wallet that can never be connected to the internet. The description here says the old wallet is fully protected from unauthorized access, cyber hacks, and every other vulnerability that comes from connecting to the internet. Cold wallet is the highest security type of crypto wallet, which means the owner of the wallet has full control of their private keys. And so I'm personally going to be looking into getting one of these. Got to get some finances together before I can buy one. But I am looking to potentially get one of the supports BSC, ERC, and it's got a lot of functionality that I think some of us would find useful. The ecosystem runs from BSC, CMC, CG, Wallet Connect, Simplex, OpenSea, Uniswap, Aave, Compound, Swift. There's lots of it, and I'll share a link to that here. I'll post that here in the general chat so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
My vote for the future, based on how you guys all came to be and based on what you've kind of gone through now, maybe in the future it'd be nice to see a Gallant cold wallet.
Yeah, we make our own wallet, eh?
That's
Our
what
own
I'm saying,
wallet.
Built to be secure forever.
Steve, if I can speak for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on that wallet too, since I have another token that I have, you know, about the same amount of funds in it as Gallant. Everybody probably knows it's the DFS Mafia stuff. It wasn't originally on their coin list, so I had them add it, and it only took them about 2.5 days to actually add the token. So the token's out there, and it's not on in their program. You just send them everything, like if you're adding a new token to your Trust Wallet or MetaMask or whatever, and they just went in and automatically put it in. So now it's also there. You know what I'm saying? So it was super easy to get them to add a token. So a new one just comes out and you own it, then just request that they add it.
Yeah, notice that, you know, like other projects are getting listed on different cold wallets or, you know, different wallets just by, like you said, pretty much, well, if you have Certec, they'll add you.
Right.
Yeah,
A lot of
thanks for-
A lot of them used to just be like if you're listed on CMC, they'd list you. But I think a lot of these wallet people are finding out what CMC really is. And I won't lie, CMC is nothing more than a cash cow for CMC. Any token that like launches can be listed if you have the funds. And it's even worse now. I mean, I have something called fast alerts that you're supposed to get alerted before they're getting listed. But there's somebody out there that's faster because you see money going into these tokens before this fast alert even comes out. And you'll notice how CMC does not do what it used to do. You know, it used to be such a feat to get put on CMC and CoinGecko, and now it's 13 tokens, 15 tokens a day.
It's quite large. Yeah, send me some info on that in a DM. I'll check it out.
Something.
I mean, I've got a Ledger Nano X sitting here, you know, but like it doesn't support as you know, a lot of this BSC stuff. I mean, it seems like its primarily focus is, you know, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, and things like that. You know, it supports, you know, quite a few tokens, but those are coins and stuff that I don't have investments in, you know, and yeah, it sucks. Its thing has never been plugged into my computer. It sits here in the box. I've had it for quite a many months now and never powered it on. Sure thing. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Always nice to educate and learn new stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I've got one of the Trezor hardware wallets. You use it with MetaMask, so it supports all BSC and everything. And yeah, I find it works great. I've worked with staking. I haven't found anything it hasn't worked with, except for the collab land for Discord. It's the only thing it didn't work with.
Or you use the Model T?
Yes. Yes.
I'm pulling it
Yes,
up.
the Model T one.
It's a pretty cool looking contraption.
Yeah, I find it. I went for that over the Ledger one because I don't want to use it on mobile. I'll only use it on my computer, and just to use the interface and that and the touch screen, I felt was a lot easier to use than the Ledger.
I put a message in the crypto channel for you, Dark Ghost, just so you could put it in there so I could see it.
Yep, I'll grab a link for you and pop it in there.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Something that was mentioned that we really never touched on was like our fees.
Hey, Stephen, after the
Yes,
the
let's
unfortunate
talk about
hack that you
that.
guys went through, I was doing a little bit more research.
We are
on
thinking
hardware
as
wallets.
if
And one of the
NFTs
ones I came across
be
that, and I'd been
ETH
looking
world.
at the software version of it, but SafePal's got a hardware wallet that works with essentially the equivalent to a trust wallet.
The biggest platform for them.
It's one of those things I'm looking into
You
for
have
myself
way more
as well.
marketplaces.
Just 'cause I like the idea of just using a regular wallet, but
there's
I'm leaning
so many
towards the hardware
advantages
wallet,
over
even though I
that.
do have that standalone phone that works just
Everybody
fine for
that
me.
holds will
But,
be,
that might be
you know,
something to look
will be
into as well,
compensated.
as
You'll
another
get
option to look at. Just 'cause
NFTs, whatever.
It's just a standard wallet, but it has a hardware
something
wallet component to it.
Us of what are your thoughts if we relaunch them?
Sure.
Do you want your same NFTs back? Do you want, you know, I mean, we would have that ability, correct, Stephen? You could get the same picture back, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, we had that ability because they're numbered in that order, and so it would just take. And thankfully, we didn't have, 5,000 holders, so we have that ability to make sure that we give back exactly what said person had.
I mean, we were thinking of what we can do for original holders. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like anybody that even
It's funny you say
bought
that.
one
I've got the
before
exact same box
end up
sitting
with
here
another
with
one.
the Ledger Nano X. That, I pulled it out and showed it in videos that I've done. But
Everybody has
it's not
a few
conducive
to
to
start with.
most of what we do on the BSC or even
At least,
all these
and
new tokens out there. Is it going to work?
we were
with
thinking of
staking?
ways
Is it
like,
gonna work with
would we say
farming?
the OG?
SafePal, that's the benefit.
like
Is it's just like a trust wallet.
the true,
but you got a
the
hardware
true
device
people
that
of
you
them.
can do as well. So
The
I'm still
BSC ones
researching
that
it, but
we
I'll
will
send you the
still
link
be
for
able
it.
to
You can
do
check it out.
something with. It truly doesn't matter what platform we hold them on. We can do.
Well, you got the
cross-chain
computer
has come
background, so
so
I'm actually
far
more
from
interested in your
before.
opinion of it than most people.
You know, I mean, I know for people in the U.S., it is a pain for ETH sometimes. If you're not an ETH person, if you've started on the BSC chain, I mean, but I think everybody's got to remember the first time you bought BNB or, depending, because I know it's easier now, you can actually go buy Smart, but, Smart Chain before, like you bought BNB and you had to convert it to Smart Chain, and that was a feat itself, to even get started on this side. And the way I'm picturing this is I would like some sort of upgradable contract on it that we can, there's new chains every day, for anything that we do going future-wise, but truly it doesn't matter. I can take and hook somebody's wallet that is, like Lightchain is not like OX, like ETH and, ERC20 and BNB are. They're just totally different, sort of like a Bitcoin address. If anybody's ever looked into it, Litecoin, all these things are different numbers. We can still always get them where they mesh together, because as time goes forward, there's always going to be something different. Mr. Hayden is very, very into layer 1 tokens, seeing what's coming out. Layer 1 is your BNB Bitcoins, Ethereum. I mean, there's coming out that I think one used like 100,000 of a cent for gas fees, and it was doing transactions in 3 seconds. I mean, and nobody knows if it'll make it, but in the future, if they do, say 2 years from now, I mean, BSC is still a small chain. I mean, truly is that. What would it be, like a year and a half ago? It was $4 a token. I mean, they were just getting going. So, I mean, we want to be, how to say it right, looking for the future, like making sure everybody's upgradable and that we can do more.
Right on, JB.
because as gaming comes around, we can always get something to go back to where we're at. And that's the thing. It's just we want to make sure that it makes no sense for you to play some game and get $3 worth of tokens to find out when you go to cash it out, you only get like 20 cents because of gas fees. You know, and that's something I've never understood. How anybody can do any game, take anything on the exchange unless you're taking tens of thousands of dollars. Then a $200 gas fee doesn't bother you.
Yep.
But as far as the NFTs go, I've always said this, you know, Sammy and Steven have heard me say this many times, is I've always liked NFTs on the east side, because if somebody buys an NFT for $200 and they spent $60 on gas fee, they're going to go to sell it and they want $260 at least for it. So even if they, you know, cutting a loss or something, it always seemed to push the floor higher. And I really, truly still stand behind that I believe that's why ETH NFTs were always going up in value.
Right.
You're always going to have somebody that's willing to take a loss. Somebody's going to need money somewhere. Or, you know, somebody wants to jump into the next biggest, greatest thing. But there's way bigger crowd out there for East Side, and I think that'll push us forward. And it is about raising funds for gaming going forward, doing buybacks. That's a big one. Being able to put a pool out there to stake it, you know.
Yeah, we definitely want to do a buyback.
Right. And I mean, that's something that is like duly noted. I've had everything to date. And that's the greatest thing about blockchain. It's always there. Nothing ever gets erased from the blockchain. So we can always see where we were, what goes on. You know, fingers crossed that we are able to recover these funds. And the hardship of that one is our biggest holder now is our Pancake Swap, because they put so many tokens into it that the only way we get those tokens back, removing some like liquidity to get some of those tokens back to do, you know, essentially just buybacks after buyback with it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sort of hesitant to lock up our LP right away, sort of waiting to see what's happening. And it's a hard spot to be in right now, because it's, how do we go about this? We want to do a push forward, but when people see unlocked LP, it's hard. I mean, I am curious to see what would happen. LP lockers aren't cheap. A lot of them want tokens. There's a couple out there that are decent. They have good stand. And that also goes to LP lockers. We need to talk with Surtech and say, hey, is this somebody that you guys approve of? You know, because we want to have a very high Surtech score. Even though they don't even show our LP on the Surtech page, but whatever.
Yeah, gotta get this fixed.
Mike, do you have anything you want to say?
I guess that depends on whether or not you can hear me.
We hear you.
Yeah, first off, I want to say thanks to all of our community for, you know, riding it out with us through these rough times, what we've just recently dealt with. I assure you that everything's going to be good. Like Steven has said, we're definitely pursuing this to the best of our abilities and moving forward. There's a lot of cool stuff like you guys have just seen with the gaming development and what we're working on. And then they're also doing a lot of innovation. on the backside with some of the ideas of what we're moving forward with, what JB was talking about with the NFTs. There's other stuff that we're working on as well, as far as what we've learned in the past as far as marketing and things of that nature. So we've been building connections and networking to improve that as we go forward and do our pushes with some of the new content and things related to our gaming development. As Stephen had mentioned, we actually, Stephen and Sammy both, as far as our level of ambition, the thing is that we're restructuring in a way to be able to meet those ambitions through building a stronger infrastructure and learning from some of the things that we've done and dealt with through this last year. I'm very excited about what we're doing. I really appreciate what everyone has done as far as supporting us and being there through. I am on the new game that we just unveiled today. I think that we're going to be, doing some really great things. We're very lucky to have Zach and Mark, such talented developers that are also creative and just really good at what they do. And we've got a lot of good things in store for the future, and I hope everyone enjoys doing it with us. And I look forward to talking to the rest of you guys later.
Sweet as. Thanks, Mike.
I was actually going to quickly chime in. If anyone has any other questions for me, I'll go ahead and answer them, but I was probably going to be hopping off here. It's nice to finally get to, meet some of the community.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for sharing as much as you did, and looking forward to hashing out some more stuff and getting myself. I'm gonna spend some time in doing some crafting and creating there with the characters there to get some stuff out for you. And yeah, man, get some sleep.
You know how I am, so.
Yeah, you and Dark Ghost. Like Dark Ghost, it's like almost 6 a.m. for you right now, bud?
Yeah, 5:15.
Go to bed.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be soon. Yeah, just want to say thanks, Zach, for the updates, and welcome to the Gallant community.
Yeah, of course, I look forward to getting to know everyone more and sharing updates as I have them. Some updates will be big, and some will just be hey, I just updated this animation. I think it looks cooler. What do you guys think? So I'll be trying to keep the community as involved as I can.
Sounds great.
Oh, I guess if that's it for me, I'll go ahead and hop off. Once again, it's nice getting to know you guys, and you'll be seeing more of me in the future.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And same for you as well, Mark. We'll have you in that channel as well to be able to drop updates and stuff as well. And we look forward to the community embracing you guys, and just also it's just another way for us to stand out from the crowd and allow because this project doesn't exist. Our games don't get played without a community, and without you guys, it's just a way for us to keep the wheel rolling with you all and allowing you guys to be a part of the development stage, because it's we might have 2 devs on gaming, but we've got quite a few community members that makes up the team. We might have some core team members here, but it's all of you guys. It's the community that makes this thing what it is. And you guys giving your feedback and input and ideas and stuff, you guys are a part of the team too. This is something that you've invested a little money in on crypto side. You've put money into it, and I want you guys to, get as much as you can out of that. So thanks to all of you guys. And if no one else has any other questions or comments or whatnot, I'm going to stop the recording as we've hit that 2-hour mark, and we can still chit chat if you guys want. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. So thanks for
Nice.
if you're listening into the recording at this time, you've got the audio, and I'll get the a compilation of some of the video details that we've done today and share it in the Discord as well. So thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next Fireside Chat.